Hello, Professor. My name is Yanjun. The topic and presentation today is research on the value of music culture inheritance. First of all, music culture is an important part of national culture. Every country has an excellent historical and national culture, among which music culture is a precious wealth preserved in history. National music culture has regional characteristics, whether it's the East or the West, as large as the international group or as small as an individual unit. There are cultures that are bound by national characteristics, and there is no music is completely divorced from national roots. Different regions and different living backgrounds may produce different lifestyles and customs and beliefs. Similarly, differences in living environments and cultural backgrounds will lay the foundation for the emergence of a certain national music style. That is to say, music has its specificity, and its types and styles can show their own characteristics in different cultural backgrounds. Any music or culture exists and develops in time and space, and this specific time and space are interactive and interrelated. According to the type of time-space wheel, we can clearly understand the characteristics of music culture's evolution in the relationship between time and space. That is, music culture is determined by changes in different regions, economics, politics, and transportation, and forms an all-encompassing rich and colorful culture in the evolution of time and space. Self-contained system characteristics. Therefore, music has become an important career of national culture. The music culture of a nation is communicated, recorded, and disseminated on the basis of the language and the characters of the nation. The change in music comes from the change of culture, because music is neither purely ideological nor purely material, but a cultural derivative product with a real material basis and constantly changing with the change of social environment and human behavior. As a cultural product, music can't be isolated from a specific culture, can't exist independently from human life behaviors, and can't be separated from the feelings, cognition, and the evolution of specific societies, individuals, or groups. In addition, music can help the national culture to be passed on. Music was originally formed by the combination of different sound rhythms in nature. Compared with other forms of national cultural inheritance, such as books, paintings, dances, dramas, and so on. The way of music inheritance is more direct and does not require high cultural attainment. For example, 广西 folk songs, 山西顺天游, and other Chinese folk music. People can use popular language and tunes to create simple creations. so as to well inherit the regional culture. Through music, we can have a deeper understanding of national music culture and have a good feeling for national music. Finally, the healthy development of music culture helps shape a new national culture. In the context of globalization, the invasion of Western music has restrained the development of national music. So, we must seek a new way to develop national culture. Nowadays, more and more researchers find that modern young people's love for traditional music culture is disappearing because of some historical reasons and globalized cultural exchanges. Western culture invasion caused modern young people to worship Western music culture, such as pop music and Western rock music are highly respected by young people, especially in East and Southeast Asia, represented by China, Malaysia, India, and so on. Currently, in many countries, almost all forms of entertainment are dominated by Western music culture, including television, radio, and recordings, as well as live performances. If the necessary measures are not improved to restore the localized national music, the local music culture may completely lose its competitiveness and be completely eroded by the Western music culture in the future culture competition. Below, I will briefly review my two literatures. The first literature is The Performing Arts in Malaya State and Society. This paper exposed that in the 1970s and the 1980s, the Malayan government has been trying to centralize and intervene in the performing arts, get rid of the influence of Western colonial culture, and reshape Malaya's own national culture. In this process, the government has taken many measures and promulgated many regulations and achieved certain results. However, in this process, many regulations and measures have also caused the interference to some music cultures in the Malaya. And there are also many music cultures independent groups protested, such as Pop Music Kings, all want to create performing arts that are distinctively Malayan. But they don't want too much interference from the government. We can say that although the government has made great progress in shaping the culture, it also limits the development of Malayan music culture on the other hand. So, on the road to the development of national music culture, new measures are still needed. The second literature is Music Education in China, in search of social harmony and Chinese nationalism. It exposed that, whether imperial or contemporary China, music plays an important role in caring and cultural inheritance and value orientation. The Chinese government has been using various means, including music education, to promote social harmony, aiming at cultivating an ideal and harmonious society structure. Especially in China in the 19th or the 20th centuries, at different times, the Chinese government has been propagating the social values of the time through musical works, such as the creation of the March of the Volunteer Army during the Revolutionary period, which inspired the army and the people to fight to the end against the invaders and passed on the indomitable spirit of struggle of the Chinese people. At the same time, from 1966 to 1976, the government of the time and the same problem of overly strict control over music, which very seriously limited the development of Chinese music culture at that time. Until the 1990s, when Chinese music culture flourished due to the change of policy. Similarly, contemporary China has also discovered the phenomenon of Western culture invasion. Since entering 21st century, the Chinese government has strengthened music education on campus and added many traditional classic songs to music teaching materials to promote and reshape traditional Chinese national culture. Measures to strengthen music education and inherit national music culture are also worth learning from other countries. By reading both literatures, we can see that China and Mongolia share common characteristics in terms of ethnic culture. Both has experienced excessive government intervention at one special period, which has inhibited the development of ethnic music, and therefore are weaker in the computation of globalization process. Because music is a free art form with a high degree of artistic freedom, excessive intervention only limits the development of music culture. Therefore, in the process of globalization, facing the invasion of strong Western music culture, we should to seek a new way of development and inheritance of national music culture. In the trend of globalization, there are more and more cultural exchanges between different countries around the world, and there will be more and more mutual absorption and integration between cultures. In this process, we need to accept the excellent parts of foreign cultures and eliminate the parts that don't fit our national culture. For example, we can only accept the style of rock music and its free spirit and courageous criticism in it. We can use rock music to express the free and romantic part of our national culture, and form a rock music with national characteristics. For example, the early Chinese rock worker Jia Xingsheng uses the traditional Chinese folk instruments such as guzheng and drums to shape a classic Chinese style rock. At the same time, we can't deny the Western music culture is more perfect than many other countries, and there are many things we can learn from it, such as the method of analysis, compositions, and the variety of music styles and genres. For example, the Chinese have borrowed the Western music to structure and score to record the Chinese oral music in a more reasonable way, so that some classical works can be better passed on. However, we don't need to worship them blindly, because our own national music culture also has many classical and excellent music works and a unique music style system, which is our own national music culture confidence. Finally, I think the diversification and the mixing of cultures is a basic trend in the development of all human societies. The music culture should be integrated and independent, learning and confident. That's my presentation. Thank you very much.